Adventures with Valerie Brown, and today I'm going to do a bedtime stories for adults. And this one's going to be about Anguilla, one of the Caribbean islands that I've been to only once, but I really want to go more because I've heard so many stories about it. And that's what I'm going to tell you today is one of the stories that was related to me by my friend Susan Pierre, who spent many years in Anguilla, and she in fact wrote some of the tourist guides that they have still in the stores. So she was telling me that Anguilla has never been much of a plantation island because it's very dry. And when the Brits left the resilient thinking Anguillans on their own, they were fishermen and took to building boats when they became legendary in that part of the Caribbean. During the sugarcane season, the men of the island would sail to the Dominican Republic to work in the sugar fields, and after the season was over, they would race each other back to Anguilla and their women awaiting their arrival on the beaches. That's how boat racing got its start as a national sport, more popular than soccer, cricket, or rugby. The around the island boat races on holidays like Anguilla Day brings everyone out to root for their favorites. Anyway, Anguilla certainly isn't considered a poor island anymore. It competes with St. Bart's for celebrity visits and luxury tourism. That's when the first luxury resort opened in 1984, the Malihana, followed a couple years later by the world-renowned exclusive resort, Cap Jucla. I think that's it, how you pronounce it, J-U-L-U-C-A. I think so. The next part of the story is when the British took over Anguilla, which is kind of interesting, and it was written by Donald Westlake, who's a renowned comedy fiction mystery writer. And to be honest, he was so disgusted with everything. This is why he wrote down his own events of this. Life is real, life is earnest, said Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. But of course, he had never been to Anguilla, a quiet Caribbean island so off the beaten track, it doesn't even run television commercials describing how isolated it is. But Longfellow isn't the only famous person never to have visited Anguilla. In the nearly 400 years the island has been a British colony. Charles Dickens, William Gladstone, Twiggy, Lord Thompson of Fleet, and Anastasia are just a few of the great names of history who have never had anything to do with the place. Even Christopher Columbus, who originated the Caribbean cruise, passed Anguilla by. And yet, on March 19, 1969, this obscure island was invaded by Great Britain in a pre-dawn military exercise involving over 300 paratroopers and Marines, plus 2 frigates, several helicopters, and 50 London policemen. The invasion, under the code name Operation Sheepskin, which permitted a hostile member of Parliament to call the Prime Minister, Harold Wilson at the time, a sheep in sheep's clothing, secured the island with no resistance and no casualties, and was declared by the British to have been a famous victory. But was it? Donald E. Westlake, a comic novelist who has been content to invent his own absurdities, took a proprietary interest in the Anguillan affair, since he considered the British action in flagrant and unwanted competition with his own comic fiction. After a study of the matter, he came to the conclusion that the actual winner of the Battle of Anguilla was Anguilla. Only now are the British coming to understand the magnitude of their defeat. It has been said that the reason the sun never sets on the British Empire is that God didn't trust the English alone in the dark. Under an English heaven, light comedy shines in all those dark places. And if more than comedy emerges, it is only because of those government policies from similar government experts who have lost the empire several times. They've been overdue for a comedy, and here it is. So I guess the moral to the story is they didn't have to have this big military operation. The Anguillans really didn't care. It actually is to their benefits because now the British support them financially, and they won in the long run. And the British don't get much out of it because it's just not that much of an island. It doesn't produce much besides fishing. So I thought that was an interesting story, and I hope you did too. That was one of my bedtime stories. And I'm Valerie Brown of Travel Adventures with Valerie Brown. I also have a blog, www.TAWVB.com. Please watch, subscribe, listen, share, etc., etc. But I hope to see you again. Again, this was one of my bedtime stories. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.